They lied to you. The world was never fair, and the longer you cling to that illusion, the longer you remain its victim. Right now, as you listen, a man less intelligent than you commands more respect. Someone weaker than you bends others to his will. Someone with fewer skills already lives the life you want, not because he's better, but because he plays by rules you were never taught. Machiavelli once warned, "Power is never given. It is seized. The throne is not offered to the worthy. It is stolen by those ruthless enough to take it. You were programmed to obey, told to be kind, while others learned to be strategic, trained to wait for recognition, while others already seized it. The truth? The game was never built on fairness. It was built on dominance. And every day you still believe in fairness, you hand your power to those who don't." 500 years ago, Niccolò Machiavelli revealed the hidden mechanics of power. He showed why good men finish last and why ruthless strategists rule the world. Today, I'm going to share with you 8 forbidden psychological principles that will transform you from overlooked to dangerously confident, untouchable, and impossible to ignore. But here's the warning. Once you see the matrix of human psychology, you can never unsee it. Once you understand these principles, you'll never again be able to play the victim. I used to be blind. I was intelligent, hardworking, genuine, and completely invisible. I watched confident fools get promoted over me. I saw manipulative schemers build empires while honest people struggled. I witnessed charismatic sociopaths attract followers while decent people ate alone. And then I saw the truth no one dares admit. The world does not reward intelligence, it rewards influence. It doesn't respect good hearts, it respects strong presence. It doesn't care about your character, it only cares about your psychological dominance. That realization destroyed my illusions, but it also freed me. Because once you see the hidden rules of the game, you're no longer a pawn. Machiavelli lived in Renaissance Italy, a world built on betrayal, intrigue, and psychological warfare. He watched kingdoms rise and fall, not because of strength or virtue, but because of one principle. Those who understand human psychology rule those who don't. His writings aren't history lessons. They're operating manuals for anyone ready to stop being manipulated and start becoming magnetic. Ruthlessness doesn't mean cruelty. It means psychological precision. It means that while you're playing checkers with good intentions, others are playing chess with calculated moves. Before we dive deep, I want you to make a declaration. Write this in the comments below. I refuse to be psychologically dominated by others. This isn't just a comment. It's your first step towards psychological sovereignty. Because everything I'm about to reveal requires one transformation, from victim mindset to predator mindset. So let me ask you, are you ready to become dangerously confident? Then let's begin. Principle 1. Fairness is a psychological trap. Here's the first brutal truth. Fairness is a lie designed to keep you weak. Every time you wait for fair treatment, someone else is already taking what you want. Every time you play by imaginary rules, others are rewriting the game to their advantage. Every time you expect reciprocity, manipulators are exploiting your predictability. You've been conditioned to believe fairness makes you noble. In reality, it makes you prey. Think about your own life. How many times have you given respect to someone who gave you none? How many times have you helped someone who never helped you back? How many times have you waited patiently, only to watch others cut the line? This isn't bad luck. This is psychological programming designed to make you lose. Machiavelli observed, men should either be treated generously or destroyed because they take revenge for slight injuries. For heavy ones, they cannot. This was never about physical violence. It's about psychological warfare. When you wound someone's ego slightly, they never forget, and they wait for revenge. But when you dominate completely, They accept their place and move on. Most people make the fatal mistake of half measures. They push back weakly against stronger personalities. They set soft boundaries against aggressive people. They try to reason with those who operate only by self-interest. And what happens? They look weak, yet still create enemies. True psychological dominance looks different. When someone disrespects you, you don't argue, you don't explain, you demonstrate through action that disrespect carries immediate and severe consequences. You don't beg people to value you. You make it costly for them not to. Stop being fair with those who exploit fairness. Start being strategic with those who only understand power. Principle 2. Ruthlessness is emotional discipline. Most people think ruthlessness means lashing out in rage. They're wrong. True ruthlessness is the opposite. Ice-cold emotional discipline. Ruthless people don't get angry. They get strategic. They don't react emotionally. They respond with calculation. They don't act from hurt feelings. They act from logic and self-interest. This is why emotionally reactive people never build influence. They're predictable. They're manipulable. Anyone who knows their buttons can control them. Psychologically dominant people understand this. Emotions are information, not instructions. They feel anger. They feel disappointment, but they don't let those feelings choose their actions. Picture this. Someone publicly embarrasses you. The reactive man gets defensive, argues, explains. He looks weak. He validates the attacker's power. The ruthless man does something different. He feels the sting, then asks, what response will damage their standing while elevating mine? Maybe he ignores it completely, showing the attacker is beneath him. Maybe he responds with cold precision, making them look foolish. Maybe he turns the attack into proof of his composure and strength. The difference? His response is chosen, not triggered. Machiavelli wrote, "Injuries should be inflicted all at once, so that their ill savor, being less lasting, may give less offense." In other words, when you must respond, make it decisive, make it final, end the conflict in your favor, without dragging it out. The most powerful people you know, do they scream? Do they lose control? Do they let others dictate their emotions? No. They remain sovereign over themselves. They choose their battles. They respond strategically, not emotionally. And when others realize they can't manipulate your emotions, they begin treating you with caution, with respect. Master your emotions. Let others react while you remain calculated. This is ruthlessness, not cruelty, but composure sharpened into a weapon. Principle 3. Psychological dominance trumps likability. This truth shatters everything you were taught. Being respected is infinitely more valuable than being liked. When people like you, they take risks with your feelings. They assume you'll forgive them. They assume your kindness is guaranteed. But when people respect your psychological strength, they hesitate. They calculate before crossing you. They know there will be consequences. Likeable people are safe, predictable, easy to exploit because everyone knows they won't retaliate. Psychologically dominant people? They're dangerous, unpredictable, treated with caution because nobody wants to be their enemy. Ask yourself, who gets the most respect in your world? The nice person or the person with the strongest presence? Machiavelli was ruthless in his clarity. Greater than, it is much safer to be feared than loved if one has to lack one of the two. He didn't mean cruelty. He meant this. Be formidable. Be someone whose approval is earned, not given freely. Here's how it looks in practice. Likeable people say yes out of guilt. Dominant people say no without hesitation. Likeable people accept disrespect and hope it ends. Dominant people stop it instantly. Likeable people seek inclusion. Dominant people are selective. Likeable people justify their choices. Dominant people decide and others adapt. Stop asking, will they like me? Start asking, Will this increase or decrease my power? This shift transforms you from a pleaser into a presence, from someone chasing approval to someone whose approval is sought. Principle 4. Decisive action creates superiority. Most people destroy their influence by acting weak over and over. They make empty threats. They give endless warnings. They nag, plead, and beg for change. And what happens? Everyone learns their words mean nothing. Psychologically dominant people play a different game. They act less often. But when they act, the impact is unforgettable. Machiavelli wrote, "If an injury has to be done to a man, it should be so severe that his vengeance need not be feared." Translated into psychology, when you must demonstrate your power, make it decisive, make it clear, make it final. Here's an example. Someone mocks you, dismisses you, undermines you. The weak man complains. He begs them to stop. He fumes privately. This only reinforces their dominance. The strong man, he endures silently until he acts once, and that one action flips the hierarchy. Maybe he exposes them publicly. Maybe he removes them from something valuable. Maybe he turns the group against their behavior. The point is simple. One decisive action outweighs 100 weak protests. Build a reputation for force, not for noise. Let people learn this law about you. You rarely act, but when you do, it's final. Principle 5. Perception. Management is reality control. Here's a secret most never grasp. Your image is your reality. People don't investigate your soul. They don't measure your hidden virtues. They judge you by what they see. And in their minds, perception is truth. Most people obsess over being good and naively assume others will notice. They won't. Machiavelli captured it coldly. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. This is the law. If you don't control your image, others will, and they'll twist it to their advantage. Psychologically dominant people know this. They shape how they're seen. They manage reputation like currency. They let perception become their weapon. This isn't about being fake. It's about strategic self-presentation. Think about social media. Two people achieve the same result. One documents it. One stays silent. Who gets the recognition? The one who controlled perception. And it's not just online. It's in every room you enter. Your posture, your tone, your clothing, your silence. These are signals, and people treat you according to the story those signals tell. So craft your story deliberately. Share victories strategically. Associate with high-value people. Protect your reputation fiercely. Maintain a hint of mystery so they fill in the blanks with strength. Your image is not decoration. It is the battlefield of your influence. Principle 6. Narrative control is psychological warfare. Every situation can be told two ways, one that destroys you and one that elevates you. The facts don't matter as much as the story surrounding them, and the person who controls that story controls the meaning. Most people act. Few control how those actions are interpreted. This is their greatest weakness. Machiavelli saw it clearly. Men in general judge more from appearances than from reality. People don't investigate deeply. They accept the narrative handed to them, which means whoever frames the story first wins. Here's what that looks like. When you succeed, tell the story as strategy, not luck. When you fail, tell the story as a lesson, not a defeat. When you're attacked, reframe it as jealousy, not weakness. Think about conflict. The one who speaks first, confidently, persuasively, becomes the version others believe. Narrative warfare is about anticipation. Before they twist your actions, you twist them yourself. Before they assign meaning, you assign it. Control the story, or the story will control you. Principle 7. Systematic consequences create authority. The weak rely on anger. They threaten, they lash out, they beg to be treated better. The strong build systems, automatic consequences, no begging, no threats, no drama. Machiavelli advised, a wise ruler should rely on what is in his own control, not on what is in the control of others. When you rely on emotions, people can manipulate you. When you rely on systems, they cannot. Here's how it works. If people respect your time, they gain access. If not, they lose it. If people value your effort, they get more of it. If not, they get none. If people treat you well, they stay in your world. If not, they disappear from it. And all of this happens without warnings, without pleas, without negotiation. You're no longer the enforcer, the system is. That's true psychological authority, a world where people automatically adjust their behavior to your rules. Principle 8. Silent dominance is ultimate power. The loudest people rarely hold the most power. They shout to hide their weakness. They brag to mask their insecurity. True dominance is silent. It doesn't need to announce itself. It's felt, not declared. The most dangerous man in the room is often the quietest, because while others posture, he observes. While others react, he calculates. While others play, he positions. Machiavelli's lesson was timeless. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. To dominate silently means moving like both, cunning when needed, forceful when required, but always without warning. Your enemies don't realize your moves until it's too late. Your allies don't see your positioning until they benefit from it. Your rivals don't recognize their decline until your influence has already swallowed them. This isn't dishonesty, it's discretion. It's strategy without noise. Silent dominance builds empires quietly, while others waste energy announcing theirs. Here's the truth that will decide your fate. If you don't master the dark psychology of influence, someone else who has will master you. This isn't abstract philosophy. It's war, every day, in your workplace, in your relationships, in your society. While you hesitate, others are already pulling strings. While you hope for fairness, others are rewriting the rules. While you cling to good intentions, others are securing power. You have two choices: remain naive, likable, overlooked, powerless, or become strategically dangerous, respected, magnetic, untouchable. Do not be deceived. The world doesn't need more nice men finishing last. It needs people who see through illusions, people who understand power, people who master psychology. So prove it, declare again. I refuse to be psychologically dominated by others. Like this video if you're ready to stop being used. Share it with someone who needs this awakening. Subscribe, because this is just the beginning of your transformation. Remember, while you decide whether to become dangerous, dangerous people are already deciding what to do with you. The choice is yours. Choose quickly.